So, episode number 2, we have with us today Ian. Ian is a friend of mine, and number 2 in terms of wanting to just get on a call, because I know you're fairly versed in European affairs and stuff. So I've got a chat this afternoon with an American lady just to go further into this, so it should be good. So welcome, Ian. How are you getting on, mate?
I'm doing well, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, happy days, all good. So again, just as a recap for everyone, I suppose the idea of what I wanted to do with this podcast is just to have a chat with people about where they are, what's the current state of affairs at the moment in terms of the COVID-19 pandemic, and then the things that you'd like to go back to, that you're looking forward to getting back to, the things that you're happy to leave behind in the so-called old world, and then from there, we'll, and for me in the long term, I'm hoping this podcast might just develop and grow arms and legs and can do all sorts of things. The reason for the name Isolated Ape is because right now, that's what I feel like. But also in general, a lot of the time, kind of feel like that too, So, there's multi layers there. So, Ian, what's the story, man? Where are you right now? Based? Where are you based at the moment?
Right now, I'm sitting outside a converted barn in a little village called Wilbetoord in the south of Holland, the Netherlands.
Cool.
The town's got a population of about 500 people, so it's not big. But yeah, the reason I'm here is it's 10 minutes away from where my Dutch ex-wife, lives with my 2 children. So when this COVID-19 thing kicked off, I packed up my car. I managed to implement remote working for all the staff in my business, and I jumped on a ferry over here. So I'm riding it out in Holland.
Riding it out in Holland. And how are you finding Holland? I mean, I suppose the question is, do you know how busy the village was before you got there? Like, is there a difference, or has it always been this sleepy little village? Or
well, yeah, I mean, this village is new to me. I mean, my ex-wife and my 2 kids, they live in a village which is a bit bigger and a bit more a bit busier. So I'm used to that place. The reason I'm staying here is just because it is remote, and that's one of the things that I'm sort of finding a bit easier than other people, I think, in this COVID-19 thing is. I'm a bit of an isolated ape by choice. Anyway, I started the business and had 2 kids in the same year in 2015. I am permanently glued to a screen, all the time, this is not really any different for me.
Okay. Yeah, I say a similar sort of thing. Obviously, like, I've got an autistic child, man. They automatically help you with social distancing anyway. Do you know what I mean? It's quite a natural progression, man. It's nothing new. So all is good on that front for us. And then in terms of, obviously, that's not a Dutch accent that you've got there. There's no smoke and a pancake coming from that voice. So where are you from originally, mate?
I'm from a wee town just outside of Glasgow called Lenzie, and that's Glasgow, Scotland, not Glasgow, America. So there is a Glasgow in America. So Google taught me that. But I grew up on the west coast of Scotland, and I've always lived there, apart from a brief stint in Lanzarote, where I met your good self and a few other diamonds as well, and including your good lady and her brothers. So, moved to Lanzarote. I met a Dutch girl, and we got married, and we had 2 kids, and then we got divorced. And actually, technically, we're not divorced. We were just about to be divorced, and then they shut the Scottish courts, so she's stuck with me till this is over.
Unlucky.
So we've still got a good relationship. We've got 2 little boys, they're 3 and 5 years old. So I spend a lot of time.
How are they holding up in this, man?
I mean, yeah, they're going round the wall is all. Going round the bend and up the wall is all kids are. I think just now, being confined to the house, dealing with the overall kind of not having their daddy there every day type of thing is they're still young enough to absorb it. So they've absorbed it well. To be honest with you, my oldest boy's flourishing over here. His Dutch is fantastic, and he does really well at school and things like that as well. And my younger boy, I think we've spoken about this before, Nick, but he's absolutely off his nut. So he's just happy all the time. He's just happy as long as he's got something to break or someone to fight or something to jump off of that's absolutely ridiculously high. So
but he's happy anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Happy days. Yeah, my kids are not doing too bad now, to be fair. I think today was a bit of a tough one for a couple of, like, I've got 3 boys, obviously. The oldest one was struggling a little bit today, I think. You can see it in him. He spilt a bit of water earlier and got real teary about it. I'm like, dude.
No.
You know, it's not the be all and end all. So you can see things are starting to creep in. We're lucky enough with the garden and the trampoline and stuff out there. I went and got an exercise bike today. So I went this morning to a friend, Sarah, my wife Sarah's cousin owned a gym, and obviously that's had to close down. So he was renting out some of the equipment, but I think he's selling some of it as well. So we ended up going and buying an exercise bike that can go either in the back garden or down the back of the living room, and just to keep you moving, especially for my oldest boy. It'd be good for him as well. So all good there. That was I was just wary about kind of what the story was with the police on the roads and stuff like that. Like, would I get stopped? Would I not get stopped? Because it is meant to be complete lockdown, but I didn't see any. I've been on 2 trips today, both necessities. It wasn't a kind of just go for a little drive. Like, it needed to be done, but yeah, it was.
I think it's not over here. It's a bit more. It's a bit more relaxed. The Dutch are not in complete lockdown. So
I was wondering that, like, how do you get back and forth to the children and stuff if you're meant to be on lockdown? But it seems that
we're not. Well, I think so. I'm in the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak in Holland just now. The most cases, sort of per head of population, is in the town where my kids live. So, but that is largely due to the fact that they have a very, very aging population, an elderly population, and this is very much affecting the elderly, and the elderly are being tested, and that affects the data that comes out of things. But I think that they're generally. I'm from the UK, so I can say what I want about people from the UK, but we're idiots. Do you know what I mean? And over here, they're idiots, but they're not as bad as us. But people are idiots. Do you know what I mean? I think I'm quoting a Men in Black film here when I say that a person is smart, but people are stupid. Do you know what I mean? And especially in situations like this. But the Dutch, I mean, they've been doing the supermarket kind of protocols that they have in the UK and Ireland now for the last couple of weeks. They're a bit further ahead in that sort of thing. They're not focused on. They're kind of reading the Dutch newspapers. They're a bit more taking the piss out of us for this herd immunity myth that's going about. This isn't going out in video, so I just did inverted commas when I said herd immunity there. And basically, it's quite. They're basically saying loads of people have to die before that kicks in, and it's not the right way to go. And what the Dutch did is they locked down all the vulnerable people a long time ago, and they're keeping them safe, and everybody else is being sensible in terms of their social distancing and all that sort of stuff. So
act like an adult, really, is it?
No. Yeah, essential
just treat them like an adult.
Yeah, supermarkets are still open, all that sort of stuff. There's no issues there. They closed down the cannabis coffee shops for one day. There was nearly a riot, and then they opened them back up again the next day. Yeah, exactly.
Essential, I suppose, for some people, isn't it?
Exactly.
I live in Ireland, mate. If they shut the off license, well, I think they did shut the off licenses in terms of just a pure off license, but the supermarket can still sell drink. If they didn't have drink, it'd be there'd be more war. Like, it'd be pointless.
English people posting on social media, that the supermarkets or the smaller shops are hiking the price of booze. And in Scotland, we have a thing called minimum pricing, which means that basically all booze is expensive, and the stronger it is, the more expensive it is. So we've been used to this for years. Like, it's good. You get a taste of our world for a bit.
And how were things back in Scotland in terms of you speaking to your family? I know you got a sister and your parents and that. Are they all good? And what they telling you about back in Scotland?
Yeah, well, I'm in the unique situation that I'm in business with all the people that you just mentioned there. The four directors of my company are my mum, my dad, and my sister. So I'm in contact with them more than anybody should be with their parents and sister. But they all are back at home, working from home. With the exception of our storeman and a couple other team members who are inside safely, social distancing. We sell products for life safety systems, so we are a key supplier, so we have to stay open. And so we're kind of just trying to make that work just now. It's quite a lot of work, but everybody can work remotely, though. That's the good thing. So my parents, they're over 60 now, so they're just absolutely isolated at home, working from home, not really going out to the shops or anything like that, not really seeing my sister or my nephew or anything either, or her husband, because what's the point in taking the risk?
Yeah.
And my sister and her husband and my nephew, they're exactly the same. You know, the schools are closed, they're just keeping to themselves, waiting for this to pass. So, but yeah, we're basically business-wise operating as normal, kind of just now. But we don't know how this thing's going to pan out. That's the thing, you know.
Yeah. And what kind of things are you looking forward to getting back to? I suppose is the next thing. Is it like, what are you looking forward to? What are you missing?
I mean, I'm missing social contact. I miss gigging. I'm a musician. That's how you and I met, Nick. Do you know what I mean? Like, you got me my first gig in Lanzarote, if I remember correctly. And
many moons ago now, boy.
A well-established and packed venue. I miss that. Yeah, I host a couple of open mic nights. I do gigs on the acoustic still, like I did in Lanzarote, and I'm also the drummer in a Guns N' Roses tribute band, which I love. But yeah, we managed to kind of rehearse right up to the wire in terms of, you know, safely getting together, taking our own microphones and wiping down drum kits and stuff like that, like in rehearsal rooms. But just before I came to Holland, we were like, let's just call it a day on the rehearsal stuff. And then I came here and it was lockdown. So I've got my wee guitar here. I've got my wee Ep2 hummingbird here with me. So I'm chipping away on that. My guitar skills are improving through coronavirus. Yeah. That's for sure, man. Yeah,
I think there's a lot of creativity and a lot of that kind of thing, you know, of self-taught stuff or things that can be improved that people have got time for. You know, as much as we're doing this now and it's the middle of the afternoon where we're at, this is kind of my lunch break. I'm still working Monday to Friday from this room, you know. I find that frustrating when I can see other people spending loads of time with their kids and learning a language and learning an instrument. And I'm like, yeah, great for you. Selfish Nick there, you know. I'll get over that. But yeah, no, I think there's a lot of creativity and a lot of. I suppose I started this podcast, and this is kind of going to hopefully grow arms and legs. But this has come from this, so I can't complain too much. I suppose this is being creative enough, talking shit. I'm good at that. So yeah, and then you know, do you think gigging's going to be a viable option going back? How long do you think it's going to be until people are comfortable getting into big?
Well, I've been put off. The earliest one that's kind of, you know, obviously all my gigs got postponed, and the earliest one that I'm coming back to is one it's one of the best ones because it's about 20 feet from my house, and one of the few that I can actually have a few pints at and enjoy myself. But that's one that I think that's been put off till August, I think they said. I think they're being a bit optimistic. I think July even they said maybe. But I think they're being a tad optimistic. And that was quite early on though, and a lot's changed since then. So
it's supposed to be sunny Barcelona right now, and I just can't and they're saying again they're looking at July, August, and I'm like, yeah, it's not going to happen. Like, do you know?
It all depends on, you know, whether what we were talking about earlier. If you screw the fucking nut, it'll stop. Do you know what I mean? Like, so.
People just stay inside.
Yeah, but my biggest concern about the whole lockdown thing is that, you know, if you've read or any book or seen any film where it's like a dystopian future with government control, this is pretty much how it starts. You know, they put these temporary measures in inverted commas again that don't that never come out. So, people become familiarised with getting stopped in their car for absolutely no reason, why you're out of the house, all that sort of stuff, and maybe it'll never disappear. We need to make sure that doesn't happen. So if that happens, we rise up.
We all stand up. We all stand up together and stop their game.
Yeah.
And what's the? Geez, yeah. Now you've worried me, man.
Sorry.
Nah, you're good. I'm joking. And obviously, like I was chatting with Mindash yesterday, who's a mutual friend of ours, and I was chatting to him and said one of the things I was worried about with him was like the kids that are at home and their escape was school and things like that. From the shit environment they're in. Is there anything? What's your biggest concern at the moment?
From the corona thing, I mean, I basically up sticks and moved to Holland for an undesignated period of time because my family's the most important thing to me here. So my biggest concern is what happens with my living situation. I'm still paying my mortgage back in Scotland. I've basically moved to Holland last minute. So my biggest concern is like, how's this going to pan out? Already I can't get back on the ferry that I came on for another 2 weeks. That's shut off. I've got my car with me, so I need to go like Dover Cali or something like that, which is still open, or the Eurotunnel, which is still open. But if this thing, I mean, I'm a bit. I wouldn't like to say a conspiracy theory, but I mean, my family put me in charge, the youngest guy in the whole family, in charge of running the business that supports the whole family. And they always say that it's down to the fact that I've got good foresight and spider sense. And my spider sense is tingling on this situation in terms of life isn't going to go back to normal. One, I don't think. I think that there'll be certain elements of this that always stick. Two, I think that we might find ourselves in a situation where, like I was talking about, like with the government having a lot more power over us and a lot less questions asked, and I think that's concerning. And I think, I don't know. I think in terms of my own family and how it's going to impact us, like is it going to be, for me, is it going to be possible to get back and forth out of the country as easy, to come and see my children and things like that, like am I ever going to be able to jump on an EasyJet flight ever again? Do you know what I mean? Like I get that. Is the airline going to go? Are travel rules going to change? How's it all going to unfold? So the point I'm trying to make is that I think about too many things. So there's a lot of concerns, but a lot of positives as well.
Yeah. And what are some of them?
Well, I think the adjustments that we've made in business to this situation have all been overwhelmingly positive, in my opinion. Productivity's up through the roof, and the team members that we have. We sell, like I say, like products for life safety systems, so fire alarms and things like that being installed are always going to have to be installed, and so the outcome for that could be quite good for the health of the business as a whole. I think outside of business, there's positives that I'm seeing in society and on social media, that people are just waking up to being nicer people and helping each other out more in this situation. And there was a lot more of that after World War II, and it kind of died out over the last 30 years. And maybe it's going to reignite it a bit more, help your neighbour. And I'm a big fan of be nice to the guy next to you, man, because it will come back to you, and it's always served me well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I live in the kind of, I talk about this a lot. So I'm based in Ireland, and I live in what would be like in the UK known as a council estate or a scheme in where you're from, and corporation housing, social housing kind of environment. But I tell you what, the sense of community you get in those kind of places, everyone, your neighbours, and they'll all help each other. Whereas I find that in the more affluent areas that you go to, it's a lot less that way, and a lot more,
it's a generational thing as well, Nick. I think the generation is more willing to help their neighbour than previous. But there's a generation, as I spoke about just before that are kind of post-war who are of that attitude as well. I see that in my own street, where I on one side I have a very elderly couple, and what on the other side I have a couple who are maybe a bit younger than my mum and dad, you know, kind of 50s, early 50s maybe. And yeah, the people in their early 50s are not neighbourly. They don't, you know, when we all got snowed in, they weren't out helping dig the oldies out. Do you know what I mean? And that sort of thing. But it's, you know, the elderly couple. They are. Oh God, I don't know what age they are. I'd struggle to hazard a guess, but they're much older. I mean, they offer to watch my children and all that, and I'm like, I'm not leaving those two boys with you. Do you know what I mean?
They'll kill you.
House. Do you know what I mean? But thanks for the offer, you know. So I just think it's generational, and everybody just needs to be a bit nicer to each other, and that's going to be a positive outcome of this. I believe that, you know, maybe we will get a bit more sense of community out of this. In general, you know, and I think also it could go the other way. Everybody could get used to social distancing, and that might never go away. So,
yeah, I've said this a few times now. I think the greeting and the meeting and the way we do that is certainly going to be affected. You know, there's a lot of change coming. Tell me what are the things that you're not the things that you don't want to go. I suppose what are the kind of things you want to leave behind? What kind of things is, I suppose that's one of them, just being a dick and being selfish and that seem to creep in. I still worry about the negativity of social media, and I think that's been massively apparent in this. You hear about all the deaths rather than the survivors, and you hear about all the So I mean, like, and then you see all the. I'm getting a bit fed up now, if I'm honest. Of play this game, play that game. Who's your favorite footballer? Who would be in a room with doing this? You know them things that we're seeing. But it's better than the shit negativity as well. But it's finding that balance. I don't know. I think people are starting, like you said, people are waking up. They're starting to see that. Let's not fill our social media pages with negativity and death and dross.
Well, there's levels to this, right? Because I mean, it's no secret that social media platforms like Facebook and these sort of things, they invoke controversy, because controversy invites likes and makes them money from advertising. So controversial stuff does go to the top of the list, basically, when they're doing it. But you're right, if they don't have enough controversial or negative content, then, you know, they can't put it to the top. So, you know, there's been some real hikes in negative content. I think that's just par for the course these days. It has been ever since newspapers were invented, and, you know, they're always going to tell you a balance between bad stuff and good stuff, to, you know, keep you feeling that you're safe. Do you know what I mean? So there's not a lot you can kind of do about that. But I think the sentiment, like, that on social media, like what you're saying, you know, that there's these things that you can, you know, it's like post a picture of your guitar and all that. That's the kind of stuff that I see on my feed, right? Do you know what I mean? Like, just because to get away from this coronavirus thing, right? And yeah, I mean, what I would invoke people to do is, like, actually post something meaningful about something you've done to help someone and invite other people to help people. And that's the kind of stuff that people, that's going to invite positive culture on social media, I think. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think, I mean, as much as you're saying that it's clickbait and they encourage and they bring to the top these negative and controversial stories, we're still the pricks that are clicking on it, right? Do you know what I mean? If we weren't clicking on that, then they wouldn't do it, would they?
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
You know, it is that catch-22. But yeah, I like that idea. Let's just start doing something nice. And see, what you don't want, though, Ian, is people doing something nice and filming it for the sake of filming it. Do you know, not
something nice. I would rather
share the story
doing that than people being dicks.
Yeah.
That's my thing. Like, I think you've got to. We can't boil the ocean on this one. We're never going to turn everyone into a nice person. The world is full of dicks and always will be. Do you know what I mean? But at least if we can appeal to if the people who are dicks are the people who are doing nice things for clicks or for likes, then fair enough. Fair fuck to them.
Okay. You've got to do something good while being a dick. Yeah, fair play.
Exactly.
Cool. So we're coming up to 25 minutes, man. This has gone fairly fast, hasn't it? I said I'd only take half an hour of your time. I want to kind of keep these kind of short and sweet as well, not kind of overload. But what I am going to do as they build is kind of try and get a couple of people together. So I might, you know, we can get James and you or Mindas, you know, people that know each other to get in a room that haven't spoke to each other in a while. Might be a good idea to get together and have chats about what's going on.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. That needs to be R-rated. That one, I think.
Yeah, I need to quietly select who's going what, and maybe get some anonymous names going for a few of them. I think let people come out of their shell a bit. Cool. Is there? So I suppose, kind of, summarizing. Just don't be a dick. Be nice. Share it on social media.
People. Absolutely, like honestly, try like that's the way I look at it. If you do one nice thing to one person a day, like we're all helping each other out, and I know the panic buying thing and all that doesn't have to happen. Don't do it. Don't be a dick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if nobody panic buys, there's plenty of food in the shops as normal. So it's no rocket science.
Yeah. Just stay safe. Yeah.
Aye.
Aye. Well, listen, that was good. I enjoyed that. Thanks for that, man. We'll definitely catch up again soon. We'll catch up without recording very soon. But we'll record and chat and catch up again soon. And we'll see how this pans out, man. But thanks very much for your time today. Is there any? I mean, I did with Mindash yesterday. He's trying to set up a little bits and pieces, and I'll link that to it. I suppose your stuff's all kind of different gear in it. It's all for anyone listening who needs to fit fire cables. This is your man.
Well,
Linear fire clip.
any sparks specifiers, people who work in wholesale and anything like that, we sell the fastest way to install electrical cable, and it's also fire rated. So if you're in the UK mainland and you need to apply to the British regs, fire rated, faster to install, get them. If you're in Ireland, where we are all over Ireland, we've got like 100 stockists in Ireland, so you can get your hands on them pretty easy as well. So
happy days.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Listen, thanks for your time today. We'll catch up again soon, and stay safe, bro.
Good man. Cheers. See you there. Right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.